Let's be positive.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because scaffolding is great, and thinking about how we are scaffolding learning, I think, is really important. When we're thinking about scaffolding, I think what we should be thinking about. Well, let's take it to an analogy. Love an analogy.
Yeah.
So the reason it's called scaffolding is because the idea is borrowed obviously from construction and from building sites and things. But on a building site, scaffolding is obviously erected and put up so that the builders can work to places that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to reach. Now, somebody said to me last week, that's the thing about scaffolding. It's put up for everybody, all of the builders, all of the construction workers on the site, the joiners, the bricklayers, everybody. I'm running out of this is the limit of my knowledge of construction now, Becky. But people working on the roof and things. Whoever needs it, it is there for them. It is not reserved just for those working on the site who are not very good at climbing. So, nobody's saying, oh, look, there's Dave. He does rock climbing in his spare time. He's brilliant at this. He doesn't need scaffolding. We don't need to put any up there. Everybody gets the scaffolding, don't they? Everybody has it. And then when it's not needed anymore, when we're working on other bits or we've come down to a height that you don't need scaffolding anymore, it's removed. And I think that analogy flows into teaching quite nicely. The scaffolding should be things that are put in place for everybody, for every learner in the class. And then when it's not needed anymore, that's the point where it's slowly removed. So when we're thinking about scaffolding, it might just be thinking about something as simple as recapping prior learning so that we can help make connections to previous things. It might be something like STEM sentences to help us, all of us, everybody in the class, to help us to articulate our thinking and to use some of that vocabulary that we're going to use. It could be the working wall that's put up there. It could be a particular representation that the teacher has chosen to use. But what it isn't is something that is put in place for a specific child to help them with overcoming a very specific barrier that they might have. That, I think, is more of a specific adaptation for that child, and it's very specific, and it's not something that's rolled out wholesale to everybody. Does that make sense to you, Becky, or have I gone off on a weird tangent here with my analogy?
No, that makes total sense. I think the analogy is brilliant at actually really picking apart what scaffolding is and that it is a temporary solution, and the length of time it's used for might vary, but it is a temporary solution. It's not a permanent addition to somebody's toolkit that they might need to access something. It's for everybody as and when they need it.